and welcome to Everyday Hip Hop.
I swear I love music, and that's why I do it. I swear I love music, and that's why I do it. I swear I love music. Let me show you how
I don't think everybody has to be a nerd about it, but at least grow up.
That's
Like,
evolve. Just evolve.
Learn to pivot.
With Angie Stone and what neo soul, the foundation of what neo soul is, has given me hope on days where I don't think I can make it. I'll listen to a Music Soul Child album and I'll be like, okay, I can make it through a little bit more. But listen to some of these Angie Stone records and say I can make it a little bit more.
Phenomenal. And that's what I've been looking for with these hooks on this album.
I love, like, cause you feel me? We all trying to run our race. I'm just know I'm showing my support from the shadows, like a lot of times. But
Very special guest in the building today. Give it up. I want a round of applause for all our audience out there.
I swear I love music. I love my music. We be having me.
Xavier, the Roots picnic happened. I wish I was there. Honestly, I was actually kind of planning to go. I had talked about it a little bit about going to the Roots picnic. I do want to hit up the Roots picnic one time in my life. It's like a bucket list thing that I want to do. They always have great acts. And this year, Jay-Z was the headliner of the Roots picnic. And in typical Jay-Z fashion, with an afro, new hairstyle for Jay-Z that we ain't never seen him before. He was out there looking like Ab-Soul.
That's exactly who I
was
thought
like,
it was.
Is that Ab-Soul or is that Jay-Z?
Especially with the all black and the glasses.
Right.
I thought for sure that was Ab-Soul. I was like, oh, Ab-Soul Revenge Tour, I'm here for it.
Right. For
But
sure. And Ab-Soul did like another Red Bull freestyle. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
I
I'm
gotta
gonna have to
send
check
you
that
that.
out because
It was
I need
fire.
something.
Like 64 bars, I think it was called.
Okay, we're gonna have to check. We're gonna have to check that out.
Fire. I'm telling you. But Jay-Z came out, and in typical Jay-Z fashion, he dissed everybody that had anything to say about him. Now, we know that Iceman was just released a couple weeks ago. I think 3 weeks now. Not only Iceman, but 2 other projects with that. Dame Dash has been talking about Jay-Z for who knows how long. Nicki Minaj had a lot to say on Twitter about Jay-Z, Tory Lanez his father and stuff like that. And Tony Busby, a lawyer who decided to take a couple cases against Jay-Z, from some people that maybe should have been vetted better, but whatever. He responded to all of that. What did you think about Jay-Z's freestyle at the Roots picnic?
First and foremost, it was great to see a legend of his stature still active and still being able to command a crowd the way that he did. Phenomenal performance. Loved everything about it. I even loved the transition into I can't even think. I'm blanking on the name of the song right now, but after he finished his freestyle, he transitioned back into the performance. Everything about it was just perfect. Heard a lot of people saying, based off his aesthetic and performance, you can just tell why him and Beyonce are together in a lot of reasons. But overall, phenomenal performance. I only really had one, not even a complaint, just like one question. Weren't we just a month ago? Weren't we just a month ago talking about how the pillars of hip hop are crumbling down and how dissing and battles may no longer need to be a pivotal point in hip hop? It might be more, it might cause more harm than good. I swear we were just talking about that just a month ago. And then here we go. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, he's talking about just straight negativity or coming at people who are going to respond in a certain fashion, are their fan bases taking things to another extreme. But he dissed people with those exact fan bases. He dissed the Drake with the very questionable fan base who will take it to the internet. He dissed the Nicki Minaj with the questionable fan base that will take it to the internet. He dissed the Dame Dash, who will use any excuse to go on the Breakfast Club or do any reason to talk some shit about Jay-Z. So I'm that was the only part that I had some questions on, because if a big point that you were trying to make is that the fan bases at this point take these battles to a point that was not accessible back in the day, no matter how egregious the battle was, but now these fan bases take it to a place where it's no longer relevant or we should no longer be practicing it. But then you go on such a big stage as a way to promote your album and do this diss track, dissing people with those same fan bases that will take it to the internet on some bull. That was the only question I had. Other than that, loved it.
I absolutely loved it as well. Like you said, a legend in the game coming back and doing that was very pivotal. There's words and power behind what Jay-Z says when he says it. Um and especially with him talking to Drake, I just felt like there were some things that he was saying in there like we're not competing in the same race, sir. We're not at any capacity. We're not competing at the same race. I I understand what you're saying, and the only thing I would say is Jay-Z will contradict himself if he gets in a back and forth spat with Drake. Now, do you anticipate Drake responding to what Jay-Z said?
It Yes, in one way or the other, whether it's on social media, which it most likely will be, but simultaneously, I also do see him um responding to this on some level in a song. We know just because he drops 3 albums doesn't mean he's not gonna drop another one soon or a couple singles, especially if this was just his way to break free of his label.
Hey,
If we
guess
got it,
what? Guess what? He's still
what?
not out of his deal. He's still
He's
not out
not?
of his deal. We
I
don't
don't
hear. Do
understand it.
you hear? Do you hear him? Do you hear anything on Twitter saying that Drake is out of his deal? So that
No.
means this nigga, after 3 albums, is still not out of his deal. Anyway, we'll get to
I
that later.
I
That's
mean,
crazy.
honestly, he just signed that deal not that long ago,
True.
and it was one of the biggest deals in hip hop signed. I would expect it would take more than 5 albums to get out of that shit.
It's been like, but that's crazy, Xavier. It's been like 5, 6 albums, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think that's for that much money. You probably
Yeah,
would have
that's
to
like
give me a little bit more than
5 albums. That's a lot of albums.
it is a lot. And 3 in one day was even worse, but I guess it still wasn't enough. So he will definitely be responding to Jay-Z. Um,
Okay, my next question for you is: after Drake responds and says what he has to say, do you think that the temperament is depending on what Drake says, Jay-Z will respond, or Jay-Z will leave it alone after Drake responds? What is Jay-Z's temperament and response after Drake? Does he not say anything or what?
um, honestly, I don't think unless Drake says something like really out of pocket, I don't think we're gonna get another big response uh from Jay-Z about this situation. I feel like he kind of aired everything out, and unless somebody takes it to a place it doesn't need to be taken to, I think it'll kind of just be business as usual. He might teach us
Okay,
about economics.
okay, so if that's the case and Jay doesn't say anything about Drake, I think that he did not contradict himself in that interview where he said battling. He said battling. Like, I'm gonna get mines and I'm gonna respond to you via freestyle, but battling, going back and forth, going record for record, going, and what he said was one of the foundations of hip hop, which was the battling aspect. I think that could still be in his mind dead in his opinion on that. Now, I don't agree with it. I do not agree with what Jay-Z said in that. And I do think that he is lightweight contradicting himself. I think he is saving himself at the same time. If Drake says something and then he comes back and he says nothing at all, or he says light to nothing, if they're not going back and forth with records, I think that his point still stands in what he said with that interview. If he ends up actually dissing Drake and there's back and forth between them, then we could say that he contradicted himself in his interview. What do you say to that?
I say that's bail, that's cop,
Okay.
that's cape. I feel like it has to start somewhere. We've been talking about the conception of the Kendrick versus Drake battle for nearly 10 years. It didn't just happen overnight. It has to start somewhere. Someone has to throw a punch, someone has to sling some mud. Words were exchanged on record already. It's already on wax. And if the only thing that separates this from a battle is if Drake responds or not, I feel like that's not enough to say that he didn't contradict himself from what he was saying in his interview. I feel like he still made the play to where this is most likely a possibility. It could go in that direction. He might not have to respond to Drake anymore, but he gave Drake another reason to continue to talk about him if he wanted to, which feeds into the negativity that the fan bases are going to contribute online, which is the very thing he was talking about in his interview as well. If he was really about what he said, he shouldn't have addressed it at all. He should have just been about his business and whatever he wanted to talk about, in my opinion. I'm hip
True.
hop. I wanted it. I wanted this. This all these
Yeah.
niggas. This all these
No,
niggas
for
hoes.
sure. I think that was such the powerful point about this freestyle in its totality. Like when we take it off the Drake thing and we just look at this in a hip hop stance, what a dope way to come back to the game after 10 years of not even performing, after not saying anything, after doing what you doing, like no matter what I feel about billionaires and how ethical they are to United States society and stuff like that, and the economics of black people and how, when we talk about these billionaires and millionaires, that you're choosing the few and not the many and stuff like that. If we want to delete all that because we got white people out here that's making a lot of bread that we ain't say nothing about, and I'm not going to tear down my black leaders because of them choosing to play th- this game that we do have to play as black people. We do have to play the game of capitalism in the United States. If not, we're just gonna drown if you don't play it. So I rather talk about the white corporations and entities before I talk about the black people that choose to enter the gates of billionaires and whatever, and we can have conversations about that forever and ever. We can talk about the things that we don't like about Jay-Z forever and ever. But when it comes to this rap stuff, and when we bring it back to the foundation of what really made you hot, Um, I really love what Jay-Z did with the freestyle, even talking to Tory Lanez, even talking to Nicki Minaj, even talking to people that you would say is under his class. Everybody who has something to say about me and my name will have to pay for that with this freestyle. And the part about it that is really like getting me is how effective it was. Like when Jay-Z did that freestyle, we heard it on social media. It was trending. It was around everybody. There was conversations about it. Like that's what hip hop is supposed to be. And without this, like, what would we talk about in hip hop? Honestly, what would we talk about? Iceman? What else is the conversation? So I appreciate Jay-Z for doing that. Um,
Right. We're no better than Bad Girls Club. We want the drama too.
we want the drama too. Do you think that, let me ask you this. Do you think that Drake's status deserves the back and forth from a Jay-Z? Do you think that Drake is on Jay-Z's level enough to deserve a back and forth with Jay-Z?
No. Just plainly no. Um, Even if we're just talking about rap, no. If we want to talk about overall cultural impact, I would even still say
No.
no. We were wearing like Hove got us drinking certain liquor, wearing
Yeah.
certain clothes,
Yeah.
style, vernacular. Drake just has albums that were really influential at certain points in our individual lives. He hasn't really, in my opinion, infiltrated other aspects of the culture the way a Jay-Z did, the way a Kanye did. So I would say he's really not on that level to warrant a back and forth with a, and plus he's a vet. He's an OG. That's not, no, that's not really the type of artist that Drake is in my point
What do you
in
say?
my opinion right now. But
What do you say to the people that think that Drake? Because a lot of people think that Drake deserves that level of of attention from a likes of Jay Z.
I would ask why. Why? What has Drake done that
He has
warrants a
hits, bro.
response? Do hits is hits all that warrants a response from one of the most pivotal figures in hip hop, one of our hip hop billionaires, a veteran, our top 5. Drake is not a top 5 rapper. Is Drake even a millionaire?
No, but he might be on his way. I don't know.
He on his way, but he's not there. I was
True.
say they're not even financially, and I'm not a pocket watcher. Don't be watching the pockets, but I mean, like in no estimation of it, like they're not in the same realm. So just the
Niggas
mere
looks up,
fact,
up to. He said niggas look up to Hove. I ain't never looked up to them.
and Drake was looking up to a lot of people.
Pusha T,
Pharrell,
Joe Budden,
Kanye, like he was looking
Kanye.
up to a lot of people. So I mean, no, just that's a vet, bro. You just dropped 3 albums trying to get out of the deal.
So you don't want to see the Jay Z Drake battle. You wouldn't want to see something like that.
I didn't say that.
Okay, so
Well,
you
honestly, I don't think I would want to see that, honestly, because I know Drake's not gonna go about it the admiral way. He's gonna do it the same bull he did during
talking about
the
Beyonce.
right. He's just gonna. I don't want to listen to Drake talk about Queen like that. I don't even want to hear that. I don't want to like. And I don't think Jay-Z is gonna get into that type of grimy bag that a Drake would in that situation because he's been there, done that, and he'd be the biggest hypocrite if he even went to that point because you just told us to stop doing that. So no, I don't see it happening. But if it did happen, I'm gonna listen, of course.
1000%. Do you think that a Drake and Jay Z battle is healthy for hip hop right now?
No, because I agree with Jay-Z on on certain points that we saw it with we saw it with the whole Kendrick and Drake battle, how easily people are to tarnish people's careers or catalogs, music that they just have never listened to or just don't understand. A lot of these Drake fans probably haven't listened to 2 Jay-Z albums, let alone are gonna go back and listen to his old albums just because they're in a battle. So they're just gonna go on the internet. I'm gonna have to listen to a bunch of Drake fans talk about how trash Jay-Z is, and I don't want to hear it.
Right.
I don't want to hear it.
Right.
Jay-Z was I'll say it to the day I die. Jay-Z was my ringtone in elementary school. I'm not about to sit here and listen to the Jay-Z slander from a bunch of Drake fans who copy his beard. That's whack. I don't want to listen to it. I can't. I can't. And that's exactly what it's gonna be. I had to listen to J. Cole fans just shit on Kendrick's catalog, shit on To Pimp a Butterfly. Why would I not think a Drake fan would shit on a Jay-Z album? They
They
gonna
are
talk,
already trying it.
yeah, they're gonna talk mad mess about 444, 444, 444, Wendy's 444. They're gonna talk mad mess about it. So I really don't want to hear it. It's gonna be the opposite of productive for the culture. It's gonna set us further back, and I don't know. It's just maybe if we were more mature.
Nah, I totally agree with
So
you.
I agree with him on that, but I still want to hear it though. Well, Drake's
I
not mature
I
enough for
kind
it.
I kind of want to hear it But at the same time, if I want to hear something from a rapper that's damn near 60 years old, it's like, all right, like Jay-Z already did his time, like he had his battles. He buried a lot of people. He did lose a battle as well against Nas. We all know that. But he had his time, and if I need to see a 60-year-old rapper versus a 40-year-old rapper, it's like, what do I really need that?
No.
We got the Drake and Kendrick that we wanted. It did end up weird at the end as far as what these fan page people are doing and what some people choose to say on Twitter and stuff like that. I mean, I get it. We did get a general consensus of that battle, but as far as Drake and Jay Z goes, I kind of want to hear it. I kind of do want to hear and see what that would look like in 2026, but I don't know if that would be conducive and the best for the rap genre at this point. Like you said, I don't think we're mature enough.
Right.
Going
But
forward though, like I said,
before you move
go
on
ahead.
though, speaking
Yeah,
of
yeah.
maturity though, what I would much rather see at this point, like you mentioned, is a good rehash of Jay-Z versus Nas. Just a healthy bars for bar battle. I know uh Nas is deep in his gambling, getting money back with the casinos and everything right now, but he was just on the Clips album. I feel like a nice healthy battle of our OGs just really out there doing it for sport, which we know our older fan bases probably would be a little bit more mature, and we know that that type of battle wouldn't go to a certain point that we would have to take to the internet either way. So I would like to see maybe something like that, like somewhere a battle we know for a fact will just be pure competition of who can out rap the other.
Or how about like them if they just got on wax together? If a
Then
Jay Z and Nas right now got on wax together, and we would have to decipher who had the better verse, I think that would cause a lot of conversation and a lot of good dialogue in the hip hop space right now.
that'd
Honestly,
be nice, like a nice
like the
dialogue.
right, even what Jay Z was saying in his interview, like I think getting on a song and killing somebody on a song is more of an argument than battling. That was like his argument with it. I think that would be a very, very healthy dialogue for some of our older echelon rappers. Since Nas and Jay Z already did piece it up in a way, you
Right,
know what I'm saying?
exactly. Yeah, start just
Yeah,
having nice little battle albums like we thought the Pharrell versus Kanye was gonna be, but it ended up just
yeah.
kind of being whack. But
That could have been great.
I
I
thought that was gonna be
honestly do think,
legendary.
yeah, me too. I honestly do think that the battle can continue with Drake and Kendrick if Kendrick decides to drop this year. Now I don't know if he will. I don't know if he would. But if Kendrick decides to drop something, I think that the battle is still on in that aspect of it. Um,
Okay,
this is
how many
a
albums does Kendrick have to drop this year to compete with Drake
one,
though? You think he would only have to
one.
drop one?
That nigga damn near only needs to drop an 8 pack to
Oh,
to
that's
to
disrespectful. That's disrespectful.
to compare. This is a stat that I literally had to research when I was thinking about it. Since the battle in 2024, Drake has dropped 70 to 90 records.
Oh my goodness.
70 to 90 songs. Since the battle in 2024, 70 to 90 songs Drake has dropped. Around 30 songs Cole has dropped. Around 18 to 22 songs Kendrick Lamar has dropped. And we're talking about features, we're talking about solo songs, we're just talking about songs in general since the battle. So it's very evident to me that the guy that's dropping 70 to 90 songs is trying to grasp for something. It's very evident to me that the guy that even dropped 30 songs is still trying to find his identity and grasp for something. The guy that dropped 18 to 22 songs and has had the more impact in my estimation is very, very telling when I say that. Very, very telling that the guy that's dropped 18 to 22 songs have had the most impact. Luther was on the charts for how long? Like What we talking about right now?
I need at least an album and a mixtape. If he clears them out with an
I
8-pack,
mean,
that's just I'll
but
be
he
upset for
would.
Drake. I'll be
You
upset
know
for
he would.
Drake.
Soundwave said, "When do you know the next Kendrick Lamar project is going to release?" He said, "When I cry." That's your engineer saying that.
That nigga
Like
did
you're
not
giving
cry
me
after
something.
GNX.
He cried
Well,
after
he might have
Real
cried. He might have
Incarnated.
cried at the end of Glory. He might have.
Gloria too. Like, come on, man. We have some amazing rap records on GNX. We have some amazing tracks on GNX. Some masterpiece tracks on GNX, and you give me 3 albums, and I still don't think it lives up to what GNX gave me with 12 tracks. It's a problem. Even if y'all like Janice STFU, even if y'all like Shebang, I like Shebang. I like Make Them Cry. I like Make Them Pay. Some of them records where Drake is really rapping on those. But I like what 8, 9 records out of 40, 50, and you call yourself Mike? Mike gave me Thriller. Mike gave me a 9 record album, and 9 of them are all hits. Then
That's what I
he
would
then
like to
he
see
dropped
from Drake.
right. Then he dropped Bad after that. Like, what are we talking about right now? He dropped Bad after Thriller. Like, do you want to go look at the bad track list? The Way You Make Me Feel, Bad. Like, what are we talking about right now? Smooth Criminal. We are the we're not talking about Mike right now. We're not
Okay,
talking about Mike.
Smooth. I was about to say, 'cause Smooth Criminal might be a little overrated.
The music
Without the,
video.
I was about to say without the music video. Listen, without the music video, Smooth Criminal ain't.
You saying just a
I feel
song?
like it's just a song, but people would just be saying Smooth and Criminal, but they be including the music video with their opinion.
I'm
Just the
I'm
song
definitely
itself, I feel like is in too many conversations. When we're talking about
I'm
Michael Jackson's
definitely
hits, Smooth Criminal be talked about too much for me. Love the record when I'm watching the video. I'm
I
gonna
just
get
can't
Dom's
stop
opinion on that.
I just can't stop loving you. Man in the Mirror, Liberian Girl, The Way You Make Me Feel. Like, what are we talking about right now? All I'm saying is when you're comparing yourself to the likes of that, like be careful. Be very, very careful.
But people are saying he did it. He overachieved. The
Well,
general public is, from what I'm hearing, is loving this album.
I guess
Joe
so.
Budden and them are loving
So
the
did
album.
so did he do it?
I feel like he did the Chris Brown tactic and he dropped enough music for everybody to find a song or two that they really enjoyed. And we live in the era of playlists. Nobody is really going back and listening to these entire albums unless you're gonna go talk about it. Most people are just gonna find the songs that they like, add it to their playlist, and that's what they're gonna listen to. So when they're thinking about these albums, they're thinking about the songs that they like. They're not thinking about the album in totality. So I feel like the general public is really enjoying this album.
I would say so. Yeah.
They're not
It's
bad.
not a
It's
bad.
not
It's not
bad
bad.
music.
No.
Like,
No,
it's
it's not
not
bad.
bad music, and that's what I've been trying to tell people about Drake since high school, bro. Like, Drake is never not going to have fans. Drake is never not going to make music. Drake has reached a point in his career where he will always be popular because he is Drake. People are going to gravitate to Drake because he is the definition at this point of popular. Regardless if the music is good, regardless if the music is a certain quality anymore, people are going to gravitate to what is generally perceived as the most popular, which kind of leads him to, in my opinion, not trying as hard anymore, or just giving us lackluster ass music or albums that are kind of directionless, which all 3 of these albums were very directionless, other than trying to just get some disses off in Iceman.
Would you say that he tried at least though with this album? I feel like that the effort was there. Like
I
Kendrick
mean,
probably
production effort, but that's not, to my opinion, that's not him. The production effort was spectacular. His guest features outside of Sexy Red were great in my opinion, but Drake's execution was a little lackluster, kind of monotone on certain records where I felt like he needed a little bit more energy, but that energy was just carried by the production, by the beat. I feel like he could have played a little harder, in my opinion. I feel
No,
like he
I
didn't
agree.
leave it all out on the court. And I
Yeah.
feel like coming off a smacking like that, coming off a year where you had to leave the country to get away from the Super Bowl, I would expect you to leave it all out on the court, and I don't feel like you did,
No,
especially for dropping that much music.
I agree, but can we say that if it's working? Can we say that if it's working?
Well, we're not easy. We're not like we're not hard to please.
As a
2020
society. Yeah,
2026 music consumers are not hard to please, especially at this point when it comes to mainstream hip hop. Not hard to please.
that's true. That's sad, but that's true.
So I feel like we got exactly what we wanted. Mid. Easily consumable. Good enough.
Do you see him coming back soon with another project?
Yes, I've heard a lot of people saying that they might get an album by the end of the year. I feel like that would be insane to me if we
It
get
has to.
another Drake album at the end of the year. But I honestly wouldn't be surprised. I say November. Drake project in
Really?
November. Drake project in November.
Wow. Wow.
We'll see.
Another one?
I mean,
Uh,
I wasn't expecting
Another
the
pack of
first
mid?
three.
That is true. That is
I
true.
mean, they can't all be bad. I guess that's the
For
new
sure.
motto. They can't all be bad.
um,